G'day humans, Chris Stead here. Today I'm reviewing this, the Acerpure Cool 2-in-1 Air Purifier and Air Circulator. So what does that mean? It means it's going to pull the air from around your house in through these vents, through a filter, take out all the nasty stuff, and then blow it up into this circulator, which is going to circulate it around your room, right? And as it circulates the air around, it's going to push the bad air back down, back in. Sounds pretty rad, right? But is it as cool as it sounds? Well, let's dive in my Acerpure Cool review. And look, let's start with the price. So here in Australia, this is a recommended retail price for $599. And looking around at the various competitors in the space, that's not too bad. It's a pretty competitive price for what's on offer here. But the good news is I had a look just before I started shooting here around just to see what it's actually going for, and I saw it as low as $350. So some significant discounts going around. This is the 2024 model, by the way. So if you can look around, you can get this for a really, really good price. That makes it beyond competitive, as I'll go into. So what are you getting for your money? Well, let's dive in and have a look at some of the specifications. As mentioned, this is a 2-in-1 device. So with the Air Purifier, it comes with a 4-in-1 HEPA filter. Now I do want to dive into that a little bit further. So the first layer kind of removes pet hair and debris. The second targets viruses and bacteria, like greater than 99% eradication rate there. That includes coronavirus. Third is all about kind of the particles that are floating around the air, and the fourth layer is carbon. That kind of takes out all the gases and odors, formaldehyde, that kind of thing. So pretty cool, and the filter is rated to 3,000 hours of use. So it's going to last you a little bit of a while before you have to swap it out. Now it does this using UVC powerful purification technology and 10 million negative ions. Now it's got a smart sensor which can monitor air and then flag bad conditions on the app, or just turn itself on depending on what you've got it set on. So there is an app, and it's going to give you real-time monitoring, allow you to interact on a very basic level with some of the functions with the Air Purifier and Circulator. There's personalization options, so you can set your kind of favorite modes. You can also set a schedule for it to come on and off if that's going to suit your needs better. There's touch controls along the top, and there's an LED screen as well, which is going to color code things for you and let you know about what is the state of your room at the time. And there's also a remote on top of that. And then you have the air circulator on top. Now this can move air up to 25 meters away. It oscillates 80 degrees to left and right and 90 degrees up and down. And you can choose either of those settings, as I'll show you. And it's running off a DC engine, which I'm finding super quiet, and it's also efficient. Now there's 10 speed modes. I'll show you later, when you pump up to that top 10, it does get a bit louder. But it's also got a quiet night mode that you can just set it to if you have it in your bedroom. And all up, you're getting about 45 square meters of coverage, which is enough to do like a decent sized room. Maybe not a huge open plan living room, but any bedroom and most spaces in Australian family homes. Comes with a 1-year warranty too, which is probably a little down on what I would have liked, but there is a little bit of protection there. Now let's jump into my initial experience as I unboxed the Acerpure Cool. Let's have a look inside. All right, probably not going to be overly complicated. So we've got a couple of bits and pieces here, a quick get starting guide, no QR code, which is interesting. They make this stuff a lot of this stuff nowadays online. I actually prefer it. I know it's not great for the environment, but something simple like that's a lot easier. Pretty decent sized manual. It's got multiple languages in it, that's why. Warranty. It's got a date on it, a time length on it. I can't remember off the top of my head what the warranty length is. And what have we got here? Okay, so a very small remote. Oh dear. That is going to be a problem in a house with kids. So I wonder if they've got a little, maybe you could stick it to the wall somewhere. A little bracket would have been nice. Just something to just put it up high so it's not somewhere where the kids are going to constantly lose it. I guess you can move these things around your house, but old school cable. Well, it's about 2 meter length, maybe a bit shorter, but that's a decent size length, maybe 1.8 meters there, so that's good. Nothing, I can't stand anything worse than a short cable. It's just so, regulating. All right. So over here, let's have a look down inside the box. So there's your fan your piece. Is it attached? It is attached, so it's all in one piece. I thought maybe you might attach the fan, like so. Such a beautiful looking machine, this one. Like I was at the launch briefing for this, and they really look beautiful. They really move a lot of air as well. And obviously I'm going to do a review, so there will be a review on the channel. But this is the way that they've got the blades inside, and this circulating thing is all about just moving the air, like in kind of like this. But in addition to that, it also doesn't just go, it kind of moves like this, to kind of push the air around in interesting ways and get into all the corners. And then it's purifying, it's pulling it in, purifying it, and blowing the purified air around your room. On paper, I love it. I really hope it goes down in real life like it feels like it should. Let's have a look. Okay, and that is the contents of the box. So I love that. No styrofoam to be found. Perfect. Can't stand the styrofoam. You couldn't probably simplify that packaging any more than it was. So there was not much wasted space, not too much cardboard. You're going to be able to fit that in your recycling bin without too many problems. And there we go. There's the machine. Okay, so let's touch on the design of it a little bit. Now it's an interesting looking device, as you can probably see. There's positives and there's negatives. So with the positives, it's really light. It's about 6 kilograms. So quite easy to pick up and move around your house if you want to move into various rooms. Other than having a set of wheels on it, I don't know how it could be any more portable really, especially with the way that the neck's positioned here. It's quite easy to kind of grab and just pick up and move about. I actually quite like the subtle curves. Like it's nice. There's no kind of like hard edges on this. The fan design, which is functional as well as it is beautiful, in my opinion. Helps to circulate the air and move it around like this as it swirls around, so it gets further into your house. I actually quite like the design. I think it's nice. I think I've seen some negative feedback online because yeah, it's odd, but it doesn't take up much space and has looked pretty good in our home anyway. It's not something that stands out as an eyesore, even if it might not be the most beautiful thing going on earth. So the negatives of it are that it looks a bit like ET. It's a bit weird looking. So that simply just may not be your cup of tea, but it's built for function. And I should probably touch on it as a positive as well. Like everything does feel really thought out. Along the top here, you've got all your touch buttons on the front, the screen's placed. The remote at the back here is magnetic, so it just sits on the back, so it's always handy. You always kind of know where it is. It does really feel really thought out, and you can see the way it's rotating and moving as well. I think it's very controlled, and it doesn't make any sounds when it's doing it. So those are all positive designs. The negative design, like I said, it's not going to be everyone's taste. It's a little bit weird. It's also quite light, as I mentioned, and that comes with a bit of a sense of brittleness. I do feel like if I drop this, I think it would just shatter. It does not feel very strong. It's all very plasticky and everything. And especially when you come over to the back here, I'll turn it off. I wanted to leave it running just so you could see how quiet it was. You got that latch over here. It's just so kind of, see how easy that just kind of falls out? I'd really love this to be more solid and kind of, that's where your filter is in there. That kind of thing feels a little bit flimsy as well. I'd love that to have been a lot more solid. And also, it doesn't have much color variation. And I think in today's modern home, especially with consumer tech, home tech, a bit of color wouldn't have gone astray. So I know white, it's going to fit into most people's homes, but a bit of vibrancy, a bit of options there, I think would have been nice as well from a design perspective. Righto, so I'll turn that back on so you can just kind of hear the sound. And I've gone and grabbed my phone here because it's got the app on it. But I just want to talk a little bit about the performance of this because I'm really impressed. So you can probably hear how quiet it is right now. So I've got the mic right here, so I'm really close to it. So this is on the 1 setting right now. And if you come over and have a look here, I'll bring up the app where I've got it activated. And so it's just telling me a little bit. It's not it's not nowhere near the world's most in-depth apps. They could probably do a lot more in here. But if I go over to the controls and we bump that fan setting up, and you can hear, so that's 6. So that's starting to sound, I don't think that I still don't think that's still quite quiet. I don't think that would really disturb you while you're sleeping because there's no rattling, there's no weird hum or anything like that. It's just the blades turning, and you go up to 10. that's when it kind of starts to make a bit of noise. So if you're in a really bad environment and you really wanted to pump it around and really recirculate the room, you're probably going to do that when you're not asleep anyway. And then that's going to get the air really moving quite quickly. So you can potentially put that on and use it as a favorite and just clear a room and then put it back to a subtle setting. So that's 3, you can hear the difference straight away. So it's a really quiet device. This one up here is looking at your, the actual, so that was the fan for this over here, which is the actual circulator. And then this one's controlling kind of the air coming out of here and how much is getting pulled through and filtered. So you can customize both. And that's going to allow you to do what you need to do depending on how bad the environment is. Now you can just set that to smart, which is what I've been setting it on, and it will just use the smart sensor that's on the front here, which is just constantly kind of sensing the air, realizing where things are, and it can just go, hey, you've got a problem, you need to turn this on, and you can set it so it'll do it or just activate it through the app. So that kind of functionality is pretty good. And if we just look at the app over here as well, there's your quiet settings. So for sleeping at night, you can probably see just there. And then you can control also the movement so that it's going left and right. So as you can see right now, it's just going up and down. And then if I activate, I did find the app's a little bit slow to, you just saw then, it can be a little bit unresponsive. There we go. So it takes a little while, it takes a couple of second delay there. I really wish that was improved. And now you can see she's spinning around this way. So it's going to get you that kind of full room activation. And you can also, over here, you can also then lock it off, set a timer, and then elsewhere in the app as well, you can set schedules and favorites as well. So you can set a favorite setting to just select depending on which room you've got it in, as well as just at any time just look in and just see how your house is going. So that's how the app works. Now, I did want to tell a story about the performance of this, very specifically to a test case that I did. So one of our friends was having a massive mold problem in their house, in their rental, and it was really affecting them, especially her daughter, who was starting to not sleep, was coughing a lot when she was in the room. She was feeling unwell, being in this room and had this mold issue. And I had this in for review, so I said, well, why don't you take this for a week and use it and just try and help yourselves out, see how it goes. So she took it for a week. When she returned it, she said it made a world of difference. It had completely changed everything for them. They were sleeping better, the coughing stopped, everything. So I thought that was just on top of my own experiences with it, and that's in line with my experiences with it. I just thought that as a very specific and very high-end use case, because it was a really bad mold problem. I thought that was fantastic to hear. And like I said, combined with what my experiences have been, I'm really impressed by what the Acerpure delivers as not just a air purifier, but also the way it circles air around your room. And even just sitting here right now and it comes up, I can feel a nice cool breath of fresh air. So my overriding feeling about the Acerpure Cool is that it's just really smart. It has a design and a use case which is very purposeful. I can see this as a very deliberate product, and I believe it is going to deliver what customers are looking for in their air purification, air circulation needs, probably more in the small to medium spaces as opposed to the larger spaces. But yeah, I think it's it's a weird looking device, but far out, I do really like it. I've been really impressed by it. And I think it's pretty competitive at this full retail price of $5.99, but if you can find it on some of these specials that I'm seeing, and I just saw it on Bing Lee, where it's $350 for the next 30 days from the end of May. So if you're seeing this right, soon after I put it up, there's an option for you right there. But it was also, I saw it on eBay for around the same price, so it's around that $350 mark. It's pretty much a steal. It's a really, really good value for option, especially at that price if you can get it. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the Acerpure Cool 2-in-1 air purification and circulation system. It's a bit of a winner in my opinion. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to check out my other videos, and until next time, I'll check you later. You.